Hello there, you're watching Velar Miniatures. In this episode, I will be painting Nug and Yeb for Cthulhu Death May Die. These minis are old ones, or boss encounters for the board game. And yeah, it's actually two of them, so these kind of count as two different old ones, so they can play in different ways, which is fun. Anyway, I sprayed these, or primed these, with a few different colors. Black from below, red from, about straight on to the miniature. I had some beige, as I was running out of white, so I did a beige layer from above first, and then hit the tops with white. And yeah, all rattle cans is what I used for this. I was actually, as I was running out of rattle cans or spray primers, I went to the store and I was also thinking that I could get some new paints, and I was looking for a gray contrast paint, a different one than the one I am usually using, but I couldn't find one, so I don't think it exists, which is a bit strange because there are like 15 different browns and 4 yellows. There are even like 5 different pinks and purples, but just one gray, which I think is a little bit too dark for skin, but we'll see what we can do. So instead of finding a new gray, I picked up this Doomfire magenta today, which looks very crazy, but it might be a good kind of contrast or detail color compared to the gray skin. So I'm going to see how this works on the tentacles. It's not as extreme on the miniature itself, but it is quite crazy. So maybe I can mix in a little bit of the smoother purple. This is getting very, very, very crazy compared to what I had in mind. But I think it's gonna work out and be cool. Alright, I'll leave this one to dry and then I will do the other one. And for Yeb, I think I will do it differently. So I think I wanted a little bit more brown in the gray. Yeah, and I haven't washed the brush, so there's already magenta in here. Yeah. Yes, I think going the other way around will work out for this one. So first doing the gray or the gray-brown, and then coming in with the purple and magenta after. Because the magenta was much more covering than what I was first expecting. So I should be able to put it on top before this has had the chance to dry completely. Tentacles seem much more concentrated in areas on this one, so it's a little bit kinder to paint. So I was first planning just to cover the whole thing with the grey-brown mix, but I have very easily been able to just paint around the tentacles. Not that it matters too much if I get any paint on them, as long as I kind of brush it out, because it's good to have a little bit of mix in with the other, so I think that's good. I think I have covered most of the parts that are the skin or the brownish parts, and then I will go over to the tentacles. As the magenta is quite crazy, I think I'm going to use the purple in the transitions, or where the color, or where the tentacle kind of emerges from the rest of the skin, so that I can mix in a little bit of what's already on the miniature onto the purple, and then the magenta. Mixing in a little bit of gray in the magenta too, something that I think could help, because that's practically what happened on the other one when I did the colors at the same time, and I think it softens it down a little bit. I want some areas where it's kind of all by itself, this color, because it is quite striking, and I think it's going to look cool with some dry brushing and glazing over it later. The minis have so many nice textures that I want to bring out, or bring back maybe. So I'm doing a more controlled dry brush now. Again with white. I think I only want to hit the skin areas with this, because I think it might be a bit too light or too cold maybe for the magenta tentacles. For the tentacles I'm mixing white with the magenta. So it's a little bit thin because it's based on contrast paint. So has to be a little bit careful with the dry brushing. I don't think I need too much, because I will be coming in with some deeper shadows. So I actually think this is good. Not texturing these before painting was stupid. I will never be able to get the texture around all of these tentacles. So, well, what I think I'll do is that I'll just texture around it and hit the underside of the miniature itself with a dark gray or something, just to give it a shadow, and then one probably won't notice that there's not much texture underneath the miniature itself. Also, this is very low effort basing. I've just filled this pot with a mix of brown paint, PVA glue, and regular dirt from outside. It's time to add some shadows, or colored shadows, I guess. For that I will be using Coelia Green Shade, which is starting to become my favorite color. And it's a good contrast to the magenta. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one on the tentacles too. I probably will, and also the base isn't dry, so yeah. And immediately when saying I wasn't sure if I was going to do the tentacles, I started shading the tentacles, so I guess this will be a general shade for all the darkest areas. Yeah, it's good to maybe split them in two, so to leave this top layer, which is already very textured, or already has quite a lot of definition, and then hit the underside with the blue. I'm trying to think about the areas that point downwards when I do this, so yeah, on the muscle on the thigh I focus it here, and then again down here to kind of build up two shadows, or yes, more of a volume to kind of round off the piece. I want these monsters to appear wet and glistening, so I'm adding some white spots to the most slimy parts, and also to the sharpest edges of the skin, or the brownish blue-gray. I have been considering, or I have a few options when it comes to the eyes. I was thinking red, like the box art, or maybe I should go for like white eyes and paint like pupils and irises and stuff, which will be very cartoonish and make them look a little bit like they have googly eyes, but it could also work because they are very eye focused, and yeah, even cartoony eyes can look very creepy. But when looking at this one, after shading the eye, it's also kind of cool to have the eyes in a dark color like this, so maybe a shiny black would be cool. Also, I've been thinking about painting animal eyes on them, for example, a goat eyes, or like reptile frog-like eyes. Maybe even use some metallics to get the right sheen. I will be better at uploading and yeah, actually finishing stuff in the future. Or not stuff, but videos, finishing videos. Would be fun to be able to show something that I recently worked on in a video, instead of posting a painting I did months ago and yeah, probably no longer remember what I actually did. I decided to go with gold as an eye color. I think it's fun to add metallics to areas that don't usually, or I don't know, that aren't metal. Of course, you can get a very nice shine by using something else, like a lacquer or gloss varnish. But sometimes nice to use paints with a bit of shiny pigments in them as well. And I think this one is a very nice gold, very covering gold. It's a little bit red, Retributor armor. But it covers nicely, so yeah, that's another thing with metals. I find that they have quite nice coverage. I probably won't have to do this in in many layers. It works very well for this one with the huge eyes. I do like the gold. But it's a bit flat, even though I get a lot from the shine. So I will have to do a little highlight or a little effect. Working with gold is well, it's probably not that hard if you have other gold paints, but I do not. Although I have this very light silver paint, or yeah, I have a bunch of paints. I have several gold paints too, but I think they're all dried up. But mixing in a little bit of silver makes a colder gold, a more pale gold. So I still want to mainly have the base color showing, but a little bit towards the center, or where I want more reflection, I guess. And even more will happen on these huge eyes. But again, I will try not to cover the entire thing. It's a little bit difficult because you get carried away and suddenly the entire gold surface is a different color. And then we come to the most difficult question. Should these have pupils or not? I feel pupils might be the thing that makes them look very cartoony, but it might also be the thing that gives them life in a way. I especially feel like this one needs something to break up the orbs, even though I do like them quite a lot. Yeah, the reflectiveness is good and all that, but pupils would give them more personality. So I am going to try. I think I will go with something simple and small. I'm thinking like reptile eyes or goat eyes, so a slit pupil, or like a narrow pupil that goes horizontally. They should look in the same direction, especially the three big ones. Actually, maybe I should start with one on the side, as the center one is the most important. Is that good? I feel that's good. For the smaller ones, I'm just doing a little line just to have an indication of the pupil. And with that, Nug and Yeb are ready to join my ever-growing collection of old ones for Cthulhu Death May Die. It's fun to really do some colorful stuff from time to time. Although, looking at these now, they are not particularly colorful. They do have color on them. But yeah, compared to my other stuff, quite colorful. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Goodbye.
Murderoo. Det är så bra.